Hello everybody, welcome back to what it's like to run a seven-figure lawn and landscaping business. Here we are back on another Monday. We had a good Monday here at WLS. Hope you guys had a good Monday where everybody showed up to work. You got your crews out, you got to get your work done. And we had some funny things happen here today, and two things I want to share with you guys. One was we had somebody call and say, I'm not sure if you sprayed my backyard, but I'm back here and it smells like it. But hey, it's things we got to deal with. Whether you're a small operation or multi-crew company, the questions, the concerns, the confusions, they're generally all the same. It's just a different scale in which they happen. I did see a yard today that we used to do that was in pretty rough shape, and the ironic part about it is this person was very, very particular in how they liked their yard, and the reality of it was, not sure who they got, doesn't matter, but certainly going to reach out to them and say, hey, are you satisfied with who you've got? And I say that just as a reminder to everybody that that's a really good way to, this time of the year, late spring of the year, the fall, when you're doing cleanups, reach out to your existing customers that you had that went with somebody else and ask them how things are going. Hopefully it's going great, but if it's not, we'd appreciate your business again. Because a lot of times what I've found out in my 40 plus years of experience is your customers are leery about calling you back unless you make it clear that you would like to have their business back. Now there's some people we don't want back, right? You've got some, I've got some, we've all got some. So what do we do with those? We don't re-solicit those people, but for the ones that they just canceled because of a reason that's reconcilable and you've had a little time pass by, reach out to them. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is we decided to add another application to our fertilization and weed control program. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have a good evening tonight. We'll see you guys next time, and be safe. Hello everybody, here we are, it's Tuesday afternoon, and got a couple funny stories to tell you from today. One is, we got our dumpster dumped, and it was funny, the guy came in and he said, you had 9.99 tons in there this time. He said, another handful of dirt, you'd have been at 10 tons, but we found another baby kitten over there when he moved it. So that's the third one that we found over there in the last couple of weeks. Had an interesting situation with a customer today, one of our fertilization and weed control customers. He sent the payment in for one of his applications, and he also had a note on there that said, seems like we're spending a lot of money in 2025 on our lawn applications. It generally runs about $600 a year, and I'm already at $759 or whatever the exact amount was. That's pretty close. But so I looked it up, and what it was, we actually, last year, we made the final two applications in January of 2025 on 2024's program, if that makes sense. So he paid them in January, so now that he's tracking his 2025 expenses, it's overinflated this year's cost. So I put together a note and a letter for him and sent that out to him, explaining, why it looks like it's so much more expensive this year. So he's been a customer a long time. I think we'll be fine with it. But it's kind of funny, though. I got to thinking about it. He didn't call me at the end of 2024 and say, hey, Wayne, we're about $240 light on what you normally do to my yard this year. But they always notice when they pay a little more, right? I guess your customers, are the same way. Another funny thing we had happen today with a customer was Miss Frank gave us a call, and it was on the recorder, and she was like, hey, this is Miss Frank, such and such, and she went on to talk about, I guess you're not returning my phone calls because of the problem we had with the checks. And the problem we had with our check was they were doing an automated ACH through their bank, and 3 times we got a check made out to WLF instead of WLS, And so we'd call her and they'd reissue, call, reissue, call, reissue. Finally, they just sent one of their personal checks in. But I thought it was funny. She thought that we weren't calling her back fast enough because of the issues that we had, with getting their check paid. She said, I promise, we won't be late again. And my husband said he's just going to write a check once a month to you guys. And as you all know, that's not why we hadn't returned her call. We just hadn't returned her call yet, And Katie was out yesterday, and I guess we just didn't respond back to her quickly enough. Whereas we do pride ourselves on getting back with people, fairly fast. And this was about 6 hours, I guess she had waited, or 5 hours, something. Wasn't a long time, but thought that we were holding it against her because of her check. That wasn't it. So it's funny things they come up with, right? So I will say, though, in my 46 years of experience, that's probably the first time I've heard a customer say that, hey, you're not calling me back because of lack of payment, or probably, a check problem or things like that. Now, they've told me they checks in the mail before, but, that's a different story. But as far as production today, we had a good day today. We got some mowing done, some landscaping work done, bed maintenance, as well as started doing a few more kill outs, and got quite a few things sprayed today. And also still continuing to do our old school flyer campaign. Still passing some flyers out. So seeing that's been working out pretty good for us. So as far as calls and sales off of those calls. We also did a really funny video for you guys that are in the Profit Circle with us. Be sure to check it out. Really funny video with a good friend of mine, Tom, has got a carpet cleaning business. He's got no filter at all on what he says or how he says it. So be sure to go to the Profit Circle and check that out. So that being said, we're going to call it a day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great evening and hope you've had a great day today. See you next time.
Hello, everybody. It's hump day. Can y'all believe it? Here it is, Wednesday, the 20th. My favorite days. It's the 20th, which means it's bill day at WLS. Like I've told y'all in the past, our billing goes out on the 20th so we can get that money back in faster from our customers. We'll talk about that on another day more in detail. But hey, it's been a great day here at WLS. Hope you guys have had a great day yourself within your own companies. But we got a lot of funny stories to talk about today, just customer interactions and whatnot. But something else I wanted to share with you is we actually spent about an hour and a half today talking about our lawn program for 2026 and about potentially adding and keeping another round in our full program for our customers. So Stephen West with Sigma Organics was kind enough to come over here and spend a couple hours with us, literally, and talking about our summer application. So we're thinking about adding a crabgrass application as part of our regular program and not an add-on service. But I don't know, we've kind of convinced ourselves both ways on it, but and I'm sure we'll have more discussion on it. But that's where we're at right now with it, is we're thinking about the possibilities of adding that application, and if not, certainly soliciting that application as an additional application. So we'll talk about that, the whole side of that a little bit later on as well. But a couple phone calls we had today. One is a lady called us, and we really love her. She's a good customer, and she's in her 90s, and we really think she just sent an email in for some conversation, have somebody call her. But she asked why we needed to charge Kentucky sales tax on our services. Now, she's been a customer for a while, and we've always had Kentucky sales tax added since she's been a client. So Katie was kind of joking about it, said maybe she just wants to talk to somebody. So great lady, great customer. So Kyle reached back out to her and talked to her about that, or shot her an email in some way. I know we communicated back to her, but thought it was funny. And you guys have probably got customers like that too, where sometimes they just want to talk to you, so they come up with a question in all reality. Another thing that happened funny today, Katie had one of our customers call in, fertilization weed control, and was talking about some weeds in his yard, and asked about getting an application, a separate application for crabgrass, and Katie said, yeah, we can do that for you, and this would be the cost. We just sent out a letter to you explaining that application. He said, yeah, he says, but I can do it myself for $7. So that's about how the conversation went. And she's like, well, just make sure that, he said, I can go get this stuff myself for $7 at Walmart or Home Depot or whatever. And she said, well, just make sure that you're getting a post-emergent crabgrass control and not just like a weed be gone product, because that's not going to do anything for you. And the reality of it is, let's just go along with that concept for a minute. Yeah, let's just say you can go get the product for $7, which you can't on a post-emergent control. You guys know that. But he's not taking into consideration the time and effort that he's putting into it. I got to get in my car, I got to go get the product, I got to come back to the house, I've got to mix the product, now I've got to go out and spray the product. What's the value of his time? And even if he doesn't respect his time, doesn't that lead you to believe what the value of your time is and what my time is as business owners and managers? We've got the time to do the job, to get the product, to mix the product, the value of the education we got to apply the product, all those things. Customers don't think about that all the time. So, and I know that probably happens to you too. So I just thought I'd share that as a funny story with you. Another, and it's that time of the year, right? For all these, I've got crabgrass stories, right? But what amazes me is how many people call and tell you they've got crabgrass in their yard. And Katie's gotten really good at just asking them to send us a picture, text us a picture, we'll look at it, we'll evaluate it. And most of the time it's not crabgrass at all, it's simply Bermuda grass, which then, you got that phone call to make, but you can address it with them. So just curious if you guys get that same thing. Whether you're a very small company or a large company, I gotta believe it's happening, because I remember back in the day when I was only spraying about 40 or 50 accounts, we were getting those calls occasionally. Well, I've got crabgrass in my yard. I drive over and look at it, and it wasn't crabgrass at all. So, and for some of them it is crabgrass, but the reality of it is, it's the little things we got to deal with on a daily basis within our businesses that you don't mind doing it, but it's the repetition of it, and it's seasonally, what those phone calls are going to be. Another thing, we had a guy call in and talk about weeds in his yard, and he said, I had these weeds in my yard last year, and I know what Kyle told me I needed to do. And Katie's like, okay. She said, let me place you on a brief hold. I just want to look something up real quick, and I'll be right back to you. And she looks up where we sent them information on us seeding his yard for him, last year. And he decided to opt out, not get it done. Matter of fact, when she got back on the phone with him and was talking to him about it, he's like, well, yeah, I got that, but y'all never showed up to do it. And Katie's like, well, you never gave us the authority to do it. We just don't send a proposal out and come out and do the work. You have to okay the work. So, and authorize the work. So we don't basically have to eat it. I mean, she didn't tell him that, but that's why we do it. We don't do anything without pre-authorization for the work. That's something I want you guys to learn early on. Now we talk about our gut being right sometimes, or most of the time, but on the other side of it is, if it's not authorized work, the customer sometimes gets selective memory and say, well, yeah, I talked about it, but I wasn't sure, and you showed up to do the work, and now, I didn't authorize it, I'm not going to pay for it. So that's why we get a signature on everything we do. It's not that we don't trust anybody and they don't trust us. It just keeps things clear and concise. So pick that up from us, and understand that that's the way you need to run your businesses. Be sure you've got written authorization or text authorization, some type of authorization, to do the work. So other than that, we did a little bit of mowing today, did a little bit of aeration today, a little bit of landscaping today. One of the aeration jobs that we got done today, a guy actually has his own YouTube channel, and he said, do you mind if I video you all doing this? And he said, I'm gonna put it up on my YouTube channel. He's a do-it-yourselfer kind of guy, on his lawn and landscape. So yeah, we didn't have a problem with him videoing it and putting it up on his YouTube channel. But what I wanted to share with you was, it's that time of the year when we're doing aeration and seeding, right? And be sure to look for that netting in those yards. You know, in that sod, in yards that you might think, well, you know, it's a 3-year-old home or a 5-year-old home. That netting is still going to be present in there, and you know, you run your machine through that, whether it's an aerating machine or a power seeding or seeder, slicer. People in different markets call them different things, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You're running through there and you're cutting that groove. It can turn into a problem really quick for your machine and the quality of the job you're doing. So be sure to look at that when you're looking at aeration and seeding jobs. Is there netting? Do you see the netting still present, you know, in that? Because it can be detrimental to the bearings on your seeders and your aerators. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up, call it a day here at WLS. Hope you guys have had a great day, have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hello everybody. Hey, it's Thursday afternoon, about 3:30. I'm going to tell you our flyer campaign is still underway. Woohoo! Something else I want to tell you about is we had Super Karen Day. Yes, indeedy. Katie, Kyle, working diligently with this lady, trying to just get her proposal. Turns out she's about 86 years old, but she couldn't get her estimate. We sent it 3 different times through our software, sent it a couple times through our regular email, tried texting it. She reached out to somebody she knows out of state to give us a call. We sent it to them, and they were going to forward it to her. And long story short, then all of a sudden she found all the ones that we had sent her. There they are. And then she calls and says, wow, my God, I can't believe it's so much. I'm sure you've had that too, you know. But she says, oh, I've always paid around $500 for, you know, my trimming. And we were at like $845, which wasn't too much money really for, you know, what we were doing there. And the other part of the project was about $4,300. A lot of flat paver rock and things like that, and some oversized rock we were bringing in. So you guys know, when doing that kind of work, that's not a big proposal, right, for that type of work. But you'd have thought we would have shot her in the eye or something, you know. So she sent a whole long thesis back to Kyle on, oh my God, you know, that's so high, I've never paid this, I'll do it myself. Yeah, right, it's got, you know, 5 tons of rock and she's going to do it herself at 80 plus years old. But hey, long story short, Kyle said before this all got started that in his gut it didn't feel right. You know, we talk about that a lot, you know, that your gut's normally right, that she was going to be a Karen, if you will. And if your name's Karen and you're watching this, please don't take it the wrong way. But the reality of it is, customers are customers. I mean, some are like that. Trust your gut on that. We've had a really good day. We did quite a bit of flyers today while we were out. We did a little bit of landscaping work today. We did a little bit of mowing today. So overall, a little fertin wheat, literally. I think we had a couple yards we picked up new that we treated today, or one. And doing some more kill outs tomorrow. Doing some landscape work tomorrow, so we'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. But in the meantime, that's how it's been around WLS today. So hope you guys have had a great day. Hope you didn't have any weird encounters with your customers. And if you did, be sure to share them, man, because I want to believe that we're not the only ones out there that have this happen. So you guys have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow. It's Friday coming up tomorrow. Woohoo! Got a little bagworm action.
This is what destroys your trees, ladies and gents. They're alive. They will suck the juice right out of your tree. Cut his tail off. Now, if you have one of these on your tree and you don't want to go through all this, you just pull one off. You squeeze it like a pimple. And sometimes that was a dry one. The juice runs out.
There it is.
You have a worm that's alive. and you need to get rid of it because they will destroy your tree. That's what they look like.
Bagworms season is amongst us. There we go. Hello everybody, it's Friday. Yay, getting ready to bail out of here. It's about 12:30 Friday afternoon on August 22nd. Had a good week this week at WLS. Had a great day today. It's a very short day like Fridays generally are around here. I want to give a big shout out to our crews and our subcontractors for another great week. And also to our admin staff here in the office, Kyle and Katie and Daniel, for a lot of things nobody ever sees getting done, but a lot of stuff getting done. And Katie and Kyle had a big week in sales this week. Woohoo! You go. I'm trying to catch up, but they're too far ahead. I think I had one this week, Katie told me that I got an approval on. So we'll keep working. I got several out, though. So from that standpoint, I'll keep you posted on that, see how if I can close that gap a little bit on leads and sales and get those ratios going in the right direction. We did some kill outs. We finished a nice little landscape job out in one of our communities here. That was about a day and a half project, so that turned into a really nice job for us. Gentleman's happy on that. I actually called and said he was going to loved it and we're going to pay through the portal, so that's always awesome. As always, thanks for watching another week of What's It Like to Run a 7-Figure Lawn and Landscaping business. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.